Mm.
Hi, Open Source Ecology. My name is Pham. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I'm a software engineer and a regenerative enthusiast. I split my time between Detroit and Arizona. In Detroit, I work on an affordable housing trust called Detroit Ecology, and I recently closed on 40 acres in eastern Arizona called the Snowflake Ecology. Ecology is the brand of our project to develop hack bases and community housing and to bring regeneration to make it accessible and affordable to people. So I've been an admirer of open source ecology ever since I saw Marchin's TED Talk many years ago, and I love the grand vision of a civilization starter kit because I see a lot of challenges, not just because of the pandemic, but climate change, sea levels rising, population increasing, and I love the idea of expanding my self-image to do things that I didn't think were possible. Since I was younger, I was a fan of Kevin Kelly, who was an editor of Wired, the first editor, the inventor of Wired magazine, and he talks about the how everyone should build their own home at least once in their life and be able to customize and think, how they use space, how they are in their most intimate and personal space. And so I've always wanted to do that. And I see houses and I think they're somehow beyond me and they were built by superhumans. So I would love to expand that image of myself. And I've become immersed in the plans for the compressed earth brick structure and rammed earth and lots of other natural building materials. And I think the time is to learn and to do it myself. And so the most well documented build out there is the open source ecology build. And I'm with my business partner. We've presented a design to the city of Detroit. It was last Thursday, so a week ago. And they liked the idea. They had a lot of positive feedback. Instead of 3 micro houses, they made suggestions that it would be easier to satisfy city code if we combine them into one larger house. It would basically be, a multifamily unit, compressed earth brick multifamily unit, which has some advantages to building 3. And I would love to work on this design during my apprenticeship. It would save on walls if we could, if the micro houses abut each other directly. And I also love the idea of incremental builds, like making it possible to add a second story, if and when the residents need it or can afford it, or make enough income from the initial build to do so. So these are some of the ideas. that I like. I also, I don't know if this is appropriate for the interest video, but I have made a small investment in a bamboo dimensional lumber company called Rhizome Co. And they, lumber prices are at all-time highs. They're like, some places say 5 times their normal price. I looked at the bill of materials for the Seed Eco Home, and it's very well documented. So I really appreciate the work put into that. And they listed all the SKUs from Menards. And so I looked at the Menards website today. I made a copy of the spreadsheet, and the exact same parts were 3 to 4 times more than they were before. And so that made me really concerned for the builds during the apprenticeship, and also like my builds, or anyone who wants to use this design. And so part of my goal is to sort of introduce and see if it's a possibility to use the Rhizome Co. bamboo dimensional lumber. They're starting out with plywood panels, but I think they want to eventually expand, especially for large customers, to all the dimensions, 2x4s, 2x6s. But at least for some or many of the parts, we could use the bamboo lumber, and bamboo, I think it would be, if it's the goals of open source ecology, it sequesters carbon, it will probably be cheaper. Maybe will be cheaper. They're still scaling up production. So that would be my request and hope, and maybe sort of a lasting contribution to the design, is seeing if we could pivot towards using bamboo lumber. The modular components of the Seed Home, I think, use more lumber than just a stick frame house, because the pre-built modules have a piece of wood on both sides, and so 2 modules next to each other, again, there's 2 pieces of wood abutting each other, and that that could use twice as much lumber, and that's concerning to me as well. I know and appreciate it's possible to offset carbon and plant trees. Planting 1 million trees to replace all the lumber used in construction seems like a big task, and so maybe there's a more aligned way that I would like to contribute or continue working towards. Anyway, big digression. I would love to come apprentice with you. I have concerns about my ability to stay for 6 months, and I know I would learn a ton and have a great time. I also want to spend some of that time in Arizona harvesting rainwater. The rainy season is from July to November, so right in the middle of the apprenticeship and summer X. And so I want to find some way to balance the 2 of those. So I'm happy to arrive early to help set up and do whatever else, to talk about what's needed. And I would love to help and be part of the organization. So thank you for listening to my long and rambling video, and I hope to hear from you soon.